Today's activity is going to try to take the fenders off, take all the glass out, and I'll have to pull the bumpers off because they go right through the fender. And from there, and also take the gas tank out. I'm still debating whether I need to pop the motor out or I would like to leave it in place so that I could have it able to turn over so I can do some testing on compression and such things, just so I can get a true assessment of what type of shape the motor is. And I know it has a nasty oil leak, but that's nothing new for a Beetle. So having said that, I'll probably set you up and do a little bit of, I'll be doing some time-lapse photography, and hopefully you'll get a sense of what I'm doing with this. As I was shared earlier, a couple of things I want to look at. The bumpers do need to come off in order for me to take the fenders off. But if you look, okay, most of the bolts on this side are actually coming right through the nuts that are there, which is a really good sign. On this side, they actually put nuts on the inside, so they put smaller bolts through. So I'll probably use some of my compression nuts on it afterwards when I go to reassembly. But until then, we'll be taking those out the best we know how. And like I said, the gas tank right here will need to come out, and I'll drain it. And there underneath there's a bunch of things. So ultimately, what I want to have is this ready to be pulled up off of pull this up and off. So hopefully that works. That's really quite a rat's nest up there of the wiring. I don't know if I'll clean that up, or I'm a little bit tempted to replace the wiring, but we'll see how that goes. So anyway, I'll be probably pulling the windows out first and then the fenders off and start working top to bottom. So we'll set you up and let you kind of watch at a distance. Well, here we are now. My time lapse didn't work, but I've got it jacked up. I took the wheels off. It's sitting a little cockeyed, but we'll have that sorted out. And I did pull the fuel tank out. There, it's sitting right there, and it was just three of these clips that were bolted right onto there. Actually, the other way around like that. Bolt going through and holding onto the lip. So just the three clips. The couple of hoses. Now, something I did find is here's a fuel filter, which would, I guess it wasn't that hard to get the fuel tank out, but that could have been a real pain to have to replace that. But, and then the fuel tank came in there, but then here was also a broken hose. And so I found the other end of the broken hose, and it's right here, and it goes up and under and around and ends up in this charcoal canister. So I'm not exactly sure why that's there, and I think I may disconnect that later, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. And here's where, well, you know what? That's where the line, I got it. That's where the line is supposed to be hooked up, and that's going down and provides fuel for the engine. So there we go. And this little electric pump that kicks in, or an electric solenoid that kicks in and allows fuel to come up and feed the heater. And so that's the heater relay circuit. And I'm sure that it has a switch on the inside to turn that on. Now, I'm not planning on driving this ever in winter, so I'm planning on disconnecting that. the more I look, the more rust I see. So I see some more rust down there. So we'll be doing some welding and some more rust down there. And yeah, that's all. Well, I don't want to say that's all okay, but it's not that big a deal. Now this is interesting. You see that that's to accordion in case of front end collision, so the steering wheel doesn't go through your chest. And so that's a safety design that's put in there. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, the rust on here is really a little bit overwhelming. I thought to myself when I first looked at this, I went, check it out. There's hardly any rust under here at all when you have a look. And I thought, well, that's really good. But then I started looking closer, and this is all fiberglass. So behind the fiberglass is rust. And if you look over on this side, I pulled some of the fiberglass away. You can see right there, the rust eating through. So I will be replacing that. And yeah, so next major task is to get the fenders off. So anyway, you saw me do that on the other video. I'm not necessarily going to show you on this one, but that's kind of where I'm at. So, but I thought it was kind of cool. I'll let you see that little accordion safety thing. And I'm glad that you helped me figure out where that fuel line is supposed to go. That makes a lot of sense. And I will likely be pulling that completely off, because if it's cold enough to turn a heater on, I don't want to drive this. It's too cold. I've got other cars. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. About an hour's work, and we're up to here. Okay, we're winding up this video. It was a short one. Just wanted to give you a bit of a more of an intense overview. That gas tank came out, and that seemed to go fairly well. And it is kind of cool to see how they do have the compression on the end of the steering column. I've heard in the past, back when I was growing up in the 60s, they would talk about people having front end collisions and then being crushed by the steering wheel as the steering wheel come up against their chest. So that was a real safety innovation that VW did in order to try to have a level of protection. Now, I recognize right now that Beetles were really a bit of a rolling coffin, but they're kind of cool too. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting this one going. Anyway, we had a final review. The very next thing I did, as soon as I took this video, and I actually tried to video some of it, and the video didn't turn out, was took a bunch of the bolts out along the heater channel and underneath, so to get preparation to actually do a body off restoration. This is kind of exciting. I don't know what's going to happen there, but the idea is that you hook and I've got a bit of a gin pulled crane to I pull my motors with. I'm just going to hook on the top of the body, hopefully, and pull it apart. But we're right in the middle of this right now. I took some of the bolts out, and they were rusted so bad, and I didn't get a video of that, but we have that happening. And so some of the next stuff up is the glass is going to come out. The rubber is just all completely dried out, and it's really in tough shape. So we're going to do the rubber. I'm going to replace the rubber, and you can order that. CIP1, I should buy shares in their company because they must like me by now. Anyway, so we will be ordering some parts there real soon, and hopefully start making some progress on this project. It's a shame I actually have to work for a living, or else I could spend more time, and I know that many of you would love to see a few more videos come out. So anyway, again, like and subscribe, and follow along. We never know what trouble I'm going to get into. So have yourself a good day. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye now.